You have an amazing Airbnb, but it's not being booked as much as you think it should be. This is why your Airbnb isn't being booked at the rate you think it should be. What is the number one reason most Airbnbs aren't utilizing booked as often as they should be? We're going to dive into that question now. When we look at Airbnb bookings and property site on Airbnb, there's a couple things we need to keep in mind. One, it could be being booked because you're overpriced. No one likes to hear that. I know you're trying to utilize as much profits as possible, but you need to ask yourself, is that property doing better being empty? Or would utilizing it be a better strategy? Now, let's say that you have your pricing perfect, you got all the amenities, you've listed that you have free parking, or you've talked exactly about how much parking is, you know the important things, or you know what's important to your guests, and you've highlighted all those things. But yet you're still not getting bookings at the rate you think you should. But the Airbnb in the town that's not as good as yours is striving at a higher price. The problem could be your pictures. If you haven't told a story, if you haven't put pictures up that allows the guest to envision themselves at your property, if you haven't highlighted the amenities and the features of your property through a picture, that might be why your Airbnb isn't booking as quickly as some of the others. I'm going to Hawaii in February and probably spent 2 weeks researching Airbnbs and hotels. Hotels in Hawaii, whether it be the Big Island or Maui, are just insanely expensive. And they've also added an additional screw you caveat of a service charge, whether that be on top of parking, whether that be $20, $30, $40, sometimes even $50 a night to use the facilities. That is the reason why I booked a hotel in the first place. So I fear this is a ploy, a strategy that they've gotten from Las Vegas, and I hope it goes away quickly. But until it does, I'll be utilizing Airbnbs a lot more. And the first thing I look at when I'm thinking about utilizing Airbnbs is location, amenities, and then the pictures. If I think the place isn't worthy of the price they're trying to get, even in a market like Hawaii, I'm not going to book. And believe me, there are several options in the Airbnb market in Hawaii. Now, amenities are important. And I have to say, I booked a property that didn't have the best pictures, but the amenities they offered were amazing, and the price was a good price for everything you got. So the pictures, I went and I justified it by, well, I'm not going to be there that much anyway. And I had to use some creative thinking to think about how I would use this property. But if those pictures would have been stellar, if they would have been great, if they would have allowed me to envision myself using that property correctly, I would have for sure been willing to pay more for that property. So it's not just about increasing your bookings, it's about increasing your maximum profit. So remember that when you're thinking about, do I need to improve my Airbnb photos? More than likely you do. And another way to determine if you need to update your Airbnb photos is, do you have that furniture anymore? Is it seasonal? The picture, the image that you're showing, can you make it look better? Are the heights the same of all the pictures? Are you showing amenities and guests utilizing them? Can the guests picture themselves staying and using your Airbnb? All these questions are important. And if the answer to that question is they could be better or not really, then now is the time to fix it. Now is the time to invest some energy, time, and effort into improving these pictures. Whether that be by hiring a photographer to do it, doing it yourself, taking a look at my micro strategy, taking a look at my strategy guide, or even booking a coaching call. I'm sure after studying the strategy guide or booking a coaching call, we can get your Airbnb pictures up to the level that they need to be to not only increase your bookings, but also increase the price that you can charge for your bookings. Now, if you don't have the money for the guide, or you don't have money for the strategy guide, I get it. You know, this thing makes a great gift. Or you can just keep coming back here to the channel. Hit subscribe. I promise I'll do a tip. I'll do a strategy on how to improve your Airbnb pictures every week. And eventually you'll get to everything that's in the guide. But the guide's 36 pages. Includes before and afters. The coaching call allows me to look at your pictures as a trained photographer, examine what you could do better, what you did right, and how to duplicate the things that you did right. Maybe give you some ideas on how to improve, how to create that emotion, how to create that perfect walkthrough. There's a science to it. And the biggest Airbnb owners know the science. The largest Airbnb owners understand the importance of all this. You should too. I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the description below. I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. I'll be going live this week, so look for that. I can answer some of your questions then. And if you want a little more help, consider the strategy guide or coaching call to really speed things along, speed things up, so we can get your Airbnb back to profitable or back where it's creating more of a profit. All right, thanks so much. Have a great one. We'll see you. Bye-bye.